the Obsession Podcast. I'm Mike Stadler.
I'm Carl Bethke.
Got a question that came in to us here on, this would be trail camera usage, cell cam usage, advantages, disadvantages, and the banning that's going on in some states already. And they were wondering how we feel about it in general. Now remember, we'll run out of batteries here.
Yeah, this one could take a while. We'll probably, streamline it a little bit. Game cameras. We use the hell out of them.
Yes.
And we like them. Here at Mike's, we can use cell cams.
Yep, cell cams work here.
But at my place, no cell cams. Deep valleys. So, for me, like, for instance, tomorrow. It's early October currently. And tomorrow, I will be going in for a morning hunt. And which I normally don't do. You guys have heard me multiple times say I don't hunt mornings until October 20th. But I will do this because the wind will be right. I'll be able to sneak up the east side of the property. And then I'll be able to come down and check every trail camera. So batteries, chips, everything will get replaced and ready for the rut. Yeah. And that will give me intel on which deer I'm technically going to be hunting. For you, it's different. You got cell cams.
Yeah, I have cell cams. I love them and hate them.
Mm-hmm.
And I only hate them because they go off all the time and I can't stop looking at them.
Yeah.
So, I run 7 cell cams right now, and I think I have 12 regular chip cameras out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow. Like, I don't hunt mornings much anymore.
Not this time.
Until we go late in October.
Right.
So tomorrow, I got, one of our buddies, Phil's coming over tomorrow, try to put a doe down here. I'm going to put him in a stand. I'm going to continue up to the top of my ridge that I can get into pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
Thermals will be great. Everything will be going up.
Yep.
And I can check a pretty good pile of cameras right in that little area there, doing the same thing.
Yep.
So obviously, we both use cameras. We both like cameras. Obviously everybody knows the advantages of them.
Right.
I mean,
or basically, let's just say, well, for Mike it's a little different because he gets instant information with his cell cam.
And I can stay out of those spots.
Right. And, like even tonight, you could come out a different way knowing that there's deer in certain locations.
Yep.
So that's a positive. I mean, when you're not educating your deer, using that information to not educate your deer, this just makes it better for you later in the year. And it leaves more options for you, especially on smaller tracts of property like ours. Myself, it's a little different.
Yeah.
But...
well, that's one of the disadvantages. To me, a disadvantage of a camera is if you have to go in and check it.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
Obviously, a lot of people, and I'm not bashing people, I'm just saying this is just a fact because I've heard people talk about checking their trail cameras and pulling chips, and they're doing it constantly, in and out, or taking wheelers or trucks and driving right to them,
Don't ever think that you're driving a truck. Yeah, no, 100%.
Right there, you're educating deer, like we always say, to not do.
Right.
If
you're interrupting, even if you see a deer and it's laying there bedded looking at you, you're educating it. Mm-hmm. Okay? So don't ever think...
It's marking that spot.
Yeah, don't ever think just because you see it lay there that you didn't educate that deer.
It's good. Just keep going.
That's what it's thinking about you. That's exactly what it's thinking. It's like, yeah, just keep driving, human.
Yep.
I won't be back here for 2 weeks. But yeah, like Mike said, if you're going in and he knows that we've had people that work for us that would check cameras every 3 days.
Oh God, I know.
And we're like, you got to stay out of there.
Yeah.
Oh no, go check it again. Well, look at this buck. Well, look at this buck. Next thing you know, when it's time to go in there and kill him.
Yeah, it's 2 o'clock in the morning when that deer's there.
Yeah.
If at all.
Yeah.
It's,
where'd they go?
It's just like my last camera here. I brought the chip down deer house last week.
Oh,
I had a cell camera that quit sending pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's still working
Yeah,
because it has a chip.
yeah,
So it's taking pictures, it's just not sending to me.
right.
And that had 2,600 pictures on it by
Yeah.
the time I was able to get down there and get a chip out of it. But I went down there because I could get down there that day and get it out of there,
Right.
you know. And same as tomorrow, I'm going to take a handful. Like, I'm not even really, yes, obviously I'm going to sit in a stand with my bow.
Right.
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, but you're not
But
expecting.
I'm not expecting anything where I'm going right now.
Yeah.
Just to change some cameras around.
Carry a bag of
Yeah,
chips.
bag of chips, and not the potato kind,
That's correct.
and a bag of batteries.
Yo, batteries.
So, I mean, obviously, the advantages we all know.
Yeah.
There's disadvantages by checking them too much.
And relying on that information too much too, just so you're aware,
It's good info, but
Yeah.
yeah, you can't.
The number one thing, the number one mistake I see with trail cameras is people not setting the time and date.
No, you gotta have that. It's
Correct.
terrible. Yeah.
Because I've seen, when I first started it, it's like, yeah, I don't care about the date.
Yeah, I just want to see the pictures.
Is it daylight or is it nighttime? That's the way it
Yeah.
was, And now I realize how important it is to have that time,
Yep.
the correct time, and the correct day.
Yeah.
Last year, for instance, shocker.
Mhm.
Check that one camera in that valley the day before I killed them. Now, the other intel I had was you, who hunted it 2 days before that and seen them on the top of the ridge.
Yep.
So put those together, it's like, yeah, I've got to be in this
That's
plot.
pretty good intel, then.
Yeah, it was pretty good intel. And done,
Yeah.
But same deal. You have to know when things are happening. That's where the cell cams even help
Yeah.
even.
Well, I'll say, with me, the cell cam last year, 100% I shot the deer I shot because he was on the camera.
Oh yeah, that and the cold front.
He was coming out in the same spot in my food plot every night.
Yep.
And I wasn't able to get down there. A cold front came early last year. It was about this time last year.
Yep.
And I had the right wind. I went down there. I killed him that night.
Yeah, I think it was like the first or second.
Yeah,
I
it was
shot.
real early October.
Yep.
And he came right out, same spot, and I shot him.
Yep.
So yeah, it was
Works.
a disadvantage for him.
100%.
So
What do we think about banning them though?
yeah, that's what I was saying. We got to get into that now because I've heard people, I've had people tell me that they think, and I've seen it on social media.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be right if it's on social media.
Oh, yeah,
So
of course.
I've seen people go back to, they should get rid of trail cameras and go back to the old way. When you had to scout and do this and do that. Well, I didn't know that you had to quit scouting when you had trail cameras.
Yeah,
You had to
I
quit them?
never stopped scouting.
No. Well, this guy said you got to quit.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of, I don't know what I want to call it.
Is it misinformation? We'll just call it misinformation.
Misinformation. Traditionalists that think that, all the electronics and the apps and whatever, you guys have seen it on our other podcasts, we talk about certain things, that it's cheating.
Yeah.
No, it's not cheating. If you're smart, you use the tools you can use, and you use good woodsmanship. Scouting and all of that.
You know what I've killed more big deer with over the years?
What's that?
My head.
That's crazy talk.
By thinking
Yeah.
and learning things
Yeah.
and screwing things up.
A lot.
You know.
We both screwed up a lot.
That I think is what a lot of people don't understand because a lot of people tell us all the time, well, it must be nice.
Well,
blah, blah, blah. And we want to throat punch you.
Yeah, we do.
It's, you know what? It is nice
It
when
is.
we shoot a nice deer.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, and one of my friends learned it this year the hard way, how much work is really put into doing it.
Yeah.
And he also went out west with us.
Yep. I
And
think Phil's got a new
Yeah.
perspective of how
Right.
nice it really is.
and him and another guy that we took out there were really blown away by what it takes
To be
to be successful, especially out west. If you've ever bow hunted out west on spot and stalks and you've been successful, you know what it takes.
Mhm.
If you've bow hunted out west and you've never been successful, you know how hard it is.
And keep going.
And
Because
you gotta
then you'll
keep
be
going.
successful. Yeah.
So it's, obviously, like Carl said, using the intel, yes, is great. As far as, banning cameras,
I really don't think that we should be taking away any tools that we have. Now, here's why a lot of these things are getting banned. People are abusing certain things, okay? You know, if and I've seen this picture just sticks out in my head for Elk County. There was a fence line on top of some ridge, and I don't know where the heck it is, but there's a picture, and I am not kidding you. There's 20 cameras on this one post, public land, for an elk hunt. And everybody's entitled to put their cameras there. But if the DNR is walking around public areas and you guys got your cameras stacked on top of each other,
Right.
you know, sooner or later, somebody's going to take notice of that, and they're going to be like, well, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Maybe we shouldn't let these hunters,
Right.
you know, try and get this intel this way or whatever. A lot of traditionalists, at least out west, where I think there's 2 states now that have it banned, and maybe 1 or 2 trying to ban it.
Yeah.
You know, if we abuse certain things, sooner or later it's going to come around. We have a problem as humans, I think, to try and monitor too much of what everybody else is doing. I think that's a big issue.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's happening with these. I remember when lighted knocks were a big issue. Remember when we couldn't use lighted knocks out in North Dakota
Yes,
and all
I
of
do.
that? Any electronic, even if you had a battery light on your site, and a lot of states are still like that. So make sure you guys check the laws before you go to any different state that you haven't been to. But I believe the more and more social media is involved in the hunting and hunting industry, the more and more restrictions you guys are going to see on us. Because we can't shut the hell up. Seriously,
Right.
you know? And then all we do is argue amongst each other. And the powers that be that do make our laws to try and make it for us to be able to hunt and the general public to find it somewhat acceptable, you gotta remember, we're the minority, not the majority, which we don't like to admit sometimes.
Correct.
We need those people to understand it's okay to do what we're doing. So that's how it all works. And there's lobbying and all that other crap, just like the rest of the government.
You know, the cameras go along with anything else. There's people that'll tell you that hunting with a compound bow is cheating.
Yeah.
You know, range finders. You know, I mean, anything like that. To me, you know, stuff that makes you successful, and also, in my opinion, it's more ethical.
Agreed.
You know, taking an animal's life anyway is a big deal. Doing it quickly and swiftly is a lot better way to do it. And anybody that's bow hunted long enough has ran into times where it doesn't happen.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so picking and poking with a little recurve bow
Yep.
because you think that's what you want to do, and well, I need to do it this way now, and I've seen it a lot. Great, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, go ahead and do that, but don't criticize somebody else. I mean, for instance, I am not going to be crossbow hunting.
No, me neither.
Until for some reason, if both my shoulders and arms don't work, then I'll crossbow hunt. But until then, I'll be shooting a vertical bow, okay? Crossbow hunters, I don't have a problem with them at all, if that's what they want to do. It's legal. We've legalized it in our state.
Yep.
Feel free to do your thing. But we need to get off of pounding on each other on social media.
Yep.
That's a bad thing all the way
Yep.
around. So
Like, I think we can both just say, use the tools that you can use.
yeah,
But I mean, do anything to an excess, like you said, we're going to cause problems.
yeah,
I mean, things are going to go away. Obviously, trail cameras isn't a thing that I would want to lose for my intel.
no,
Yes, it helps you hunt. Obviously, it does not put deer on your wall or in your freezer.
no.
You still have to be smart about the things you're doing, and
Yeah, all the camera tells you realistically is that there's a deer and there's a deer there. There's a deer. Maybe you want to shoot a specific one in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean he's gonna walk in front of you.
Yeah.
And
Still
if he
have
was
to-
there 10 minutes ago, doesn't mean he's gonna be there in 20 minutes.
You still have to have tactics.
Tactics. It's your
You
strategery.
gotta have strategery. Kill deers.
Good tactics. So you guys can understand pretty much where we're coming from there and how we see that. Pretty simple layout for us. Guys, put in the comments, tell us what you think here. Because, we want to hear what you guys have to say about this subject and any other subject. If you guys got any questions you want to talk to us about, hit us up right here at YouTube at Rush Outdoors Wisconsin. Or you guys can listen to any of our stuff on the podcast. We're in iHeartRadio, Google, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and our main feed is rss.com under The Obsession.
Keep the comments coming, and just remember we're just two normal guys that can get it done usually. So learn some things. We want to throw it out there. If you guys got stuff, throw it back at us. We'd love to hear it, or any topics you got. So thanks for tuning in.
We appreciate you.